At day 10 of phase 3 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, we're nearly at the end. We've just had a really long and scheduled break. I think it's been about 40 minutes while we've been sat around waiting to hear the details of a restriction order. There's not much we can say about it really, but there is 1 minute of evidence that has been struck from the transcript that we cannot talk about, which is really impressive because up until that point, Trevor Butler was saying absolutely fuck all. He kept saying, I don't remember. I don't remember. No, I don't remember. I remember. I don't know. I'm joined with Carolyn from the Campaign Opposing Police Surveillance. What do you think of this afternoon's evidence then, Carolyn? Stay close to it.
Well, as I've said to a few people, I was actually really thankful when this whole restriction order break kicked in because it gave us a break from typing. It's been a really full-on week, basically. And it's really hard to keep up with all the evidence coming out because, yeah, Trevor's not saying a lot, but the questions that he's being asked are quite lengthy and quite complicated, and we are trying to do our best to report for everyone who can't come and be here in person in London and who's finding it hard to follow what's going on.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, people may have noticed from my tweets that I have not been tweeting a lot because there's just no fucking point. I mean, there's long questions which are like kind of difficult to follow. What was it? And then the answer is no. And it's like, no, I don't remember, or no, it didn't happen. Pause. No, I don't remember. And it's just like, oh, fucking...
It's always interesting to see what they do remember.
Yeah.
Because there's been a few times today when he's been very insistent about remembering something definitely didn't happen, definitely did happen. Yeah. And then everything else in his head is so vague, his memory shot to pieces. Yeah. He says.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff earlier on where it was like, no, it definitely. Well, as soon as anything controversial, no, that definitely didn't happen, and it's like. You don't remember anything, but you remember things that didn't happen. It's bullshit. It was quite amusing to me when he was asked if he remembered the Christmas dinners in 1981.
No, the Christmas lunches.
Christmas lunches, no dinners. That was the argument.
Yeah, he remembered what wasn't lunch.
But anyways, it was put him. Do you remember them? And he said yes, and everybody was like, "Oh, fucking hell, he remembers something." I've never heard him say yes before. I didn't know it was in his vocabulary. Fucking awful.
Anyway, the end's in sight. We've only got another hour of this left to go.
I doubt it'll be that long.
And then we've got a break that's going to last for 2 years before there's more evidence hearings, it sounds like.
Yeah. It'd be interesting, actually. A number of members of the inquiry team are moving on after this set of hearings. And I wonder, when it comes in 2 years' time, when we come back, what will we recognise any of the staff? Will we recognise any of them? I mean, compared to last year, there's been quite a change. It really shows how the institution of a public inquiry is just such a mad thing, really.
Yeah, and I suppose one really interesting question is going to be, how much is Mitting going to change over the course of this inquiry?
Or survive.
Health and intellect permitting. But I mean, I think it will be interesting to see if all this does have an influence on him, because Mitting was very keen to tell us, how clever he was and how good he was at sort of interpreting the truth out of all these lengthy documents and out of seeing the evidence for himself. And now he's seen the evidence for himself. He's seen these officers on the stand blatantly lying to him and to his inquiry. And I don't think Mitting is going to be very happy about that, to be honest. He doesn't really like that sort of thing.
No, also, over the next 2 years, he'll have the opportunity to work his way through Dave Morris's reading list. So hopefully he'll have gained a better insight into anarchism and maybe can be converted by it. Who knows?
But to all our listeners out there, Mitting has sort of suggested he's open to the other co-participants putting forward books for his reading list as well. And like we've said, he's got 2 years to work his way through them. So if there's any books that you think would be particularly great to help Mitting understand what we're all talking about, then let Tom know about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you crowdsource the list.
Yeah, we might do that over the next 2 years. We'll have plenty of opportunity to come up with novel ways in which to remind the inquiry of our continued existence and presence and interest in the topic. So please do that. If anybody has got any questions or things they want to say about what's been happening over the last 2 weeks, we're doing a Twitter Spaces at 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be the last Twitter Spaces of this, because the last day of this phase of the inquiry, so please join us with that. If you've been following proceedings, or even if you haven't, you don't need a Twitter account in order to listen. You do need to use your Twitter app on your phone if you want to speak. Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it for now, to be honest.
Fair play. Probably we'll do a final one at the end, hopefully with a few more people, when we finally get to the very end of today. But other than that, I'll see you later on.
That should be the next hour.